Healthy preparation helps you feel ready to share your work. Perfectionistic avoidance keeps you working so you never have to share it. Have you ever crossed that line without realizing it? Imagine a writer with a finished book. The story is complete, the manuscript has been revised, and it might have received several professional feedback. Preparation might mean completing one final review, confirming the submission requirements, and sending it. But every time the writer is ready, something else needs changing. One more paragraph, one more chapter, one more opinion. And usually writers say, I'm just making it better. That may be true at first. Editing can improve clarity, structure, and quality. But sometimes editing stops being about improving the work. It starts being about avoiding the discomfort of sharing it. Once the work leaves your hands, you know you cannot control how people respond. They may love it, misunderstand it, or criticize it, or perhaps ignore it. Healthy preparation accepts uncertainty and move forward. Perfectionistic avoidance keeps revising in the hope that one more change will prevent judgment. That is when preparation becomes perfectionism. Welcome back to Lead Within. I'm your host Naila Qureshi, mental health educator, executive and relationship coach. Today we are looking at perfectionism and overthinking through an interpersonal neurobiology lens adopted by Dr. Dan Siegel. In simple terms, this lens explores how our mind, body, and brain, as well as relationships, shape the way we respond. Past experiences may influence what feels safe, threatening, or necessary to remain accepted and respected. That does not mean every perfectionist has the same history. It helps you ask, why can getting something wrong feels more than making a mistake? For one person, mistake might mean I made an error and I can fix it. For another, it may mean people will think I am incapable, I will disappoint someone, I will lose credibility, maybe I was never good enough. When mistakes become connected to approval, belonging, or self-worth, perfectionism can start to look like protection. The thoughts that are connected to that would be, if I do everything perfectly, no one can criticize me. Or if I anticipate every problem, I can avoid embarrassment. If I keep revising, I can delay being judged. High standards are not the problem. Excellence and perfectionism, they may look the same. Excellence says, I want to do this work. Perfectionism say, I need to do this well and I cannot afford to get this wrong. Excellence allows preparation, feedback, revision, and then release. Perfectionism, on the other hand, keeps moving the finish line because the work never feels safe enough to share. With excellence, the work matters. With perfectionism, the work starts to feel like a proof of your worth. That is where overthinking joins in. Perfectionism says there must be one right choice. Overthinking says, if I keep thinking, I will find it. The writer rereads the same chapter, changes a sentence, and maybe change it back and ask for some more feedback from here and there, and perhaps restart the manuscript again. It feels like progress, but movement is not always progress. Overthinking is like sitting in a rocking chair. Lots of energy, no real movement forward. Thinking is useful when it gives you new information or leads to action. When you keep circling the same possibilities without learning or deciding, thinking has become a loop. Instead of asking only, why can't I stop overthinking? Ask yourself, what might this pattern be trying to protect me from? Maybe criticism once felt especially painful. Maybe approval became tied to feeling valued or loved. Maybe being capable become your central identity, or perhaps sharing something personal feels vulnerable because you cannot control how other people will perceive you or perceive your vulnerability. This is not about blaming the past, it is about understanding that present reactions often have a history, and that understanding creates more choice. So, what can you do when preparation becomes a loop? First, regulate before you analyze. Pause and notice your body. Are your shoulder tense? Are you holding your breath? Do you feel compelled to make another change immediately? Take a slow breath and let your exhale be slightly longer than your inhale. You're not trying to become perfectly calm, you're just creating enough space to choose your next move. Then ask yourself, what am I actually trying to solve? Is there a real problem in my work? Or am I trying to eliminate the discomfort of being seen, evaluated, or criticized? A real problem leads to a specific action. If a chapter is unclear, revise it. The research needs checking, verify it. The script needs editing, hire an editor. But someone might not like it. It is not a problem. It is not going to be resolved by one more revision. Now use 3 questions. What do I know? What am I predicting? And what can I do next? So the person who asked me this question is also a writer. So I will say that to the writer, the manuscript is complete, the message is clear, and the work has been revised and reviewed. Now that is the fact, right? The predictions are people may not connect with it. They may criticize your writing. Maybe it is not as good enough as you might think. These concerns may be understandable, but they are predictions, not facts. If your work needs editing, edit it. If your research needs checking, check it. But if your work is ready and you are waiting to feel completely protected from criticism, another revision may only delay the inevitable. Choose a submission date and let the work be seen. It also helps to define good enough before you begin. So, for a book or script, that might mean the central message is clear, the structure works, the necessary revisions are complete. So, imagine one qualified person has already reviewed, or maybe many has reviewed it. The final check is done, there is a submission date. Once those conditions are met, move forward. You may still notice a sentence you could improve. That does not mean the work is unfinished. It simply means you care about it. At some point, caring means letting it go. So perfectionism also appears in relationship. You may rehearse your entire conversation, maybe difficult conversation, because you want to be respectful. That is healthy preparation. But if you are searching for words that guarantee the other person will agree, stay pleased, or respond perfectly the way you are imagining, you are just trying to control something that is not entirely yours to control. You can be thoughtful, clear, and caring, The other person may still disagree. Intentional communication means taking responsibility for your message while allowing the other person to have their own responses. Ask yourself in that situation, am I improving the outcome or trying to control how I will be perceived? You may be doing both. That is not a reason to criticize yourself, it is a reason to become curious. You do not need to stop caring about quality of your work or lowering your standard or disconnect with people. You need to notice when preparation stops improving the work, relationship, or project and starts postponing your willingness to be seen, to be heard. Here is the question I want to leave you with. Where are you calling something preparation when it may actually be protection from judgment? You don't need to judge your answer right now, just notice it. When you understand what a pattern is protecting you, you can decide whether it still serves you or not. The purpose of this episode is education and self-reflection. It is not intended for self-diagnosis or diagnosing others, therapy, or mental health treatment. If these patterns are causing significant distress or interfering with daily functioning, consider speaking with a licensed mental health professional. Thank you for joining me for this episode of Lead Within. Keep your standards, question what they are protecting, set a stopping point, and let yourself move forward.